San Clemente homeowners, what in the world is going on with our housing market? Stay tuned to find out. Hey there, it's Ryan Schramm. I'm the broker and owner of Ryan Schramm Real Estate here in San Clemente. As your San Clemente realtor, my job is to keep you up to date on what exactly is happening in our local housing market and how that affects your home value. So in this monthly housing market update that I give you, I'm going to break the market down into 7 or 8 simple, easy to digest key statistics that we watch, which is like vital signs on our housing market. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing that I'm watching very closely is the demand, which simply put is the number of pending escrows this month over the month prior. So currently in Orange County, there's 1,663 pending escrows. That is up 7% from last month, but it's still an extremely low number for mid-April. It's actually the lowest demand that we've had since the 2020 lockdowns. And now, why is that? Well, that's because interest rates are hovering in that mid 6% region, and demand is a little bit artificially low just because there is not that many homes on the market to sell, which leads us to the next thing we're watching. The second thing, inventory. Currently in San Clemente, there's 85 active or coming soon listings that are on the market as of April 25th, 2023. That number is up 10%. Last month, it was 75 active or coming soon listings. So if we take a snapshot of the last 7 days of activity, there are 10 new active or coming soon listings and 2 homes that are back on the market, meaning they were under contract, they were in escrow, but for some reason they fell out and now they're back active. This unique spring market is having a huge impact on home sellers and home buyers. We expected a big surge of homes coming on the market, of inventory here in the spring that we haven't seen because interest rates have remained in that 6% range. Now what this has done, it's caused sellers to kind of hunker down and stay in their home. We're not seeing those listings come on the market, and it's creating some situations very similar to 2021 and the beginning of 2022 where there's multiple offers, there's waived contingencies, and there's very aggressive terms set forth by buyers. Now, if you've had any thoughts of selling, it's critical that you know approximately where your home value is, and I have a very robust tool set up for you. If you click in the link below, you can go on to my website and put in your property address. It's gonna ask you a few questions about your house. This is what I'm using to track my own home value and my net worth in my home via equity. This will be something that you can track and follow and stay engaged with, so you know when I go to sell my property, this is what I can expect to net. Click the link below and check out that free valuation tool. So the third thing that we're watching very, very closely are the price reductions. That's when you are looking at a listing online and you see the downward arrow. A seller started their asking price here, but they've pulled it back to here for some reason. Out of the 85 available listings in San Clemente, over the last week, we've seen 13 price reductions. And when we took all those price reductions and we averaged them out, there were $146,000 on average. So some pretty big movement downward for certain listings, which is very important to track. Key stat number 4, mortgage rates. Man, the rates have really been on a wild ride. They're back up again this month for an average of 6.25% for 30-year. Conforming and non-conforming is very close. And if we look at what my lender was quoting last month, he was at 5.875%, so up a good roughly half a percentage point there this month of April. All right, now let's take a look at the 5th thing I'm watching, which are the amount of closed sales. In San Clemente, February, we had 34 closed sales. In March, we had 48, which was a nice little bump. And so far in April, it's the 25th of the month, we've seen 32 closed sales. All right, let's scroll on to the expected market time. So an expected market time is basically when you put the house active on the market to the time you've accepted an offer. So it's important to separate the different price points, right? Because a house that's $1 million is going to be a faster expected market time versus a house that's $5 or $10 million. So in San Clemente, homes between $1 and $2 million are selling selling in an expected market time of 37 days. That's super fast. That's a hot seller's market. Now, if we bump up to the $2 to $4 million range, those homes are taking roughly 72-ish days to sell, which is a slight seller's market. All right, so it's always important in the housing market to look at what season are we in. We're in the spring season, which is selling season. Spring is almost always the most active time in the housing market. So how does this spring stack up? Well, we talked about how with so few homes on the market, it's kind of suppressing the demand. What that's also doing is it's making things competitive. Out of the last, I don't know, handful, 5 offers I've written over the last 7 days, 4 of them had competing bids. And that was through all the price points. If a home is priced correctly, there's a lot of competition. The price of the home may not shoot way over the asking price, but the offer has to be really well written. The price has to be very well thought out, and the terms have to be strong and clean. So here are my key takeaways when I summarize everything we just went over. If you're a seller right now in this market, you have the upper hand, but the home has to be priced correctly. I have a listing that we've done 2 price reductions on. Now, the home has a ton of activity. Thankfully, my sellers watched very closely. We gave them the weekly market report, and they kind of determined that, hey, if the home's not compelling, it's not selling. How do we make a home more compelling? Let's get that price in line with the other comparable sales. That's exactly what we did. Now we've got multiple offers. So as a seller right now, pricing is very, very key. For my buyers out there, having that pre-approval ready is very important. If you're a cash buyer, being super aggressive on your terms can really help. Be prepared to compete a little bit. That may mean an over asking price offer. That might work, but I'll be able to tell you, I'll be able to communicate with the other listing agent and give you a read on, hey, should we make this over asking, or would an asking price or close to asking price with very clean terms get the job done? Just watching those interest rates for when you lock is very, very important as well. As always, if you have any questions on how this applies to you, please reach out to me. I'm just a simple text message away. You can text me. I'd love to have a conversation. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you soon.